I'm sure that by now some of you might already figure out what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to take my headphones off. One second. So I'm pretty sure that some of you by now are understanding what I'm trying to do with these videos and these, pretty famous names that I'm sharing with you, all these stories that I'm sharing with you. Well, that's part of my life, and to me it's very important. I know that might not really mean anything to most of you, or even to the people that I had the encounter with. But this is part of my life, so I think it's important. Back in 2014, once again, when I was displaying my works in Soho, West Broadway and Prince Street, I covered a whole front with these large pieces of art, and this person, his name is David Eustace. David Eustace is a very, very talented and deep artist. He's been throughout the photography world back in the good old days of New York City and things that he achieved. I'm pretty sure that you can find about him yourselves. It was unbelievable. The way he created himself and the way he with absolute validation and earnest, gather a massive amount of work, and what can I say? Someone extremely, very talented. The thing that really catches my eye personally about his work, or better say, the self-portraits that he does, mainly in Scotland, where he brings this, backdrop, and the colors are very subtle but strong at the same time. The orchestration, the manipulation of his photography, and what I believe his self-awareness of what he represents taking the torch from the old masters and him transforming himself in this channel that it looks back 100, 200 years old, of how artists used to, create their masterpieces, and for David to grasp that imagery and that conceptual depth and apply it into photography, making it his own statement. I think it's extremely powerful. I think it's so powerful because it hasn't been done the way he does it, and I feel very proud that it happened to him, because he just did it absolutely right. I believe that the credit that he has upon the fact that he is extremely well known in Scotland, and although he's been traveling around the world everywhere and creating photography and other conceptual visual artworks for many other countries, but if we speak about Scotland, his homeland, of the levels that he has achieved as a doctor of the arts and gathering all this amazing, incredible amount of work. Very down to earth and very patient he was with me. On 2014, he calls me up after we've met before, and he gathered a few of my works. I wasn't really quite understanding much who he truly was, at that time, because I was just submerged once again in my own bubble. And it's not that I didn't care, it's just, I don't like to go around, quoting, like investigating people who they are. I should care, but I don't care. Once I see the person, I see the person. And that's the end of the story. I don't need a profile. Seriously. So, I really love the way he was so passionate about, my art and wanted to know more about me, and he always was pushing me and wishing me always the best of the best. So in 2014, I think summertime, he calls me and asks me if I would not mind to be mentioned on this article that Christie's magazine was making, about David's art. And I told him that of course I would not mind, and he just wanted to double check if that would be okay by me. So sure enough, I think it's 2015. Yeah, it was 2015. So sure enough, the article comes out, and he's sharing his life and his achievements and the people that he has worked with that I had no idea he had worked with. And all of a sudden, I get to where he mentions me about this young artist among many, Serge Miquel in New York City. I could not believe it. That to me was like winning the Oscar. Seriously. Because he did something extremely generous and kind. In a moment, I don't know if he was aware of this or not, but that I was needing it the most. I was needing this kind of push. It was just the right timing. And I thank him till I could no more, because what he did with that simple gesture, a very important gesture for any artist, he was presenting me to the world throughout the right and the most legit platform that you could ever imagine that an artist would like to be introduced to, which it was Christie's. So we became very good acquaintances, and when he would travel from Europe to the United States, we'd come to New York, we would meet, we would go to the Red Cat in Chelsea, we would have lunch, he would take pictures. He was always so kind and generous. Meanwhile, I was going through my own very intense personal storms, and throughout time we just kind of like stopped talking to each other. But that man, that artist, David Eustace, it's a true artist who understands who he is and his craft. He took it to a beautiful, conceptual, the level of his photography is simply impeccable. I've learned just by analyzing and just by observing how he shares, the compositions of his work and how he works the light, and he's just always impregnated with depth, very profound and personal depth, and that is so beautiful when you transform all those emotions into something luminous and very just very emotional. yeah, David never really stopped believing in what I could achieve, and he graciously wanted to be part of it. And I don't know what he might think of me, because I know I'm not an easy person. I'm actually very difficult. And maybe now that I'm sharing and opening this magic window with all of you, maybe subconsciously I'm thinking that, well, I'm making my diaries because I know that, my own stardom will come when I'm dead, and that's fine by me, trust me. I think that I'm gaining so much territory and so much conceptual development without any attention that maybe is for the best. Because if I would be selling my works for $500,000, maybe it will be amazing, but I don't know, who knows? Who knows? Anyways, but I wonder if he really understands that what I'm doing is extremely serious. I'm pretty sure he knows, but I don't know if he's consciously aware of the fact that what I'm doing, it's so serious that I want him to know that he can feel very proud of me. Look, you know what they say, it is what it is. But that man really helped me a lot in every possible way. And I don't really reach out to people because I feel that everybody has, their own life and their own problems and their own, aimings, that I just rather stay in one solo track, one solo roller coaster car, and just, take it over. But David Eustace's works are they're so interesting because he's taking all the masters, the painter masters from a certain era, from a certain period of time. That's gonna be homework for you guys to discover. I'm not gonna lay it out. I'm not a critic, art critic. But in my perception and following certain patterns, I can tell that he, definitely he's following a certain period of time. And the way he utilizes his eye, his naked eye, to reconstruct and to bring out the same intensity from a classical painting is absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. And the themes that he has chosen have been very, how do you recall that word when timeless. But there was another word, but definitely timeless. Yeah, everything is in there. All the equations, all the mathematics, all the geometry, all the emotions, all the secret rooms that if you are awake enough, you can see through all those dimensions that he shares throughout his photography. So, always grateful to David.